Welcome to Thoughts. Thoughts on Thoughts.
Excuse me?
Sleep with you?
What are you on? Like, oh my god.
That's the most terrifying thing.
No,
you
like
can
that
think
sounds insane.
We hate men.
I'm gonna throw up.
On our very first episode, Thoughts on Being a Woman, we'll be discussing the extra precautions women have to take for running at night, going out, and avoiding sexual harassment. We'll also be ending off the episode with some overall helpful tips for next time you go out. Today I'm joined with my roommates,
Hey.
Narda and Sandra. Going on to our first topic, running at night. I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all run at night?
Hell no.
No.
Why is that?
I'm scared.
You're scared?
I mean, it'd be
Literally
nice.
everything.
But
I would
like,
love it.
yeah, but it's kind of scary.
It would be nice, especially with the recent upcasts of a woman called Eliza Fletcher, a Memphis school teacher abducted and killed on a morning of September 2nd, 2022.
Oh, so it was this year.
It was this year. She was
I don't
going
think
on
I
a
heard
run.
about it.
I didn't hear about it either.
That's crazy.
Eliza Fletcher was a school teacher. She had work, she had kids, so the only hours she could run was at around 4 a.m. And on September 2, she was abducted and killed. And that caused a big upruckus for women runners because, like,
Yeah, I
she,
feel like 4 in the morning is such like a normal time to go running. Much more when people have to work like at 7 a.m.
No, because
And a
what's it
school
called?
teacher, like, you gotta be there early.
In high school, like I remember seeing cross country kids. They would be out at 4 a.m. running too.
Yeah, like 4 or 5
So,
a.m.
like that's a normal time.
It is a very normal time. Much more in the summer. I feel like the sun's like
Yeah,
almost up by that
'Cause it's
time
cooler in the
anyways.
morning.
Yeah.
and it's the only time some people can run. Like, there's no other time in their schedule for them to be running.
Like, she's a teacher. She
She's
gotta
like grade
like she has to get to
papers.
school like at 7, leaves like at what? Like 5 probably?
Maybe later.
Yeah,
What if
if
there's
she's
tutoring?
grading. Exactly.
There's
So
no time.
And she has to get home, and who knows what she has to do at home.
Some people are blaming Eliza for running in the dark and for her outfit, which she was wearing a sports bra and running shorts. Do y'all think
Okay.
it's fair to blame the
Stupid.
victim?
No. Some
It's
run
never okay to
shirtless.
blame the victim.
Also, like, even if you were naked, it doesn't
Yeah,
give you the
like-
right to touch me or look at me or, you know.
Breathe in my direction. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody said you could.
Some women have gone to the means of carrying a gun while running. It's 1% of women that do it, and some people are calling them crazy for that. Do you think that's crazy, like carrying a gun while running?
That is so
okay, without
crazy.
context, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think without context, some person's just running with a gun, like,
Well,
hello?
it's
That's why I said without context, but with it, knowing everything, I don't think it's that crazy for a woman to feel like she needs to have a gun and does it.
Of the 1% of women who do carry a gun, Amy Robbins is one of them. A runner from Dallas, Texas, began carrying weapons on runs after she was followed and verbally harassed by a van full of men in
A
2015.
van?
A van full of men.
Oh my god.
That's the most terrifying thing.
No,
you
like
can
that
think of.
sounds insane.
Mm-hmm. I got home and told myself I'll never be in this situation again, says Robbins. I probably would go home and tell myself the same thing.
I wouldn't come out for a few days if
Yeah.
that happened to me. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so for helpful tips for women runners, Becky Croft, a running coach in Tulsa, says she is always on guard when she's running. If a slowly passing car makes her feel uncomfortable, she makes a mental note of the tag number, color, make, and model. Austin Morthland, 31, in Richmond, said the precautions she takes before running now are second nature, including making sure the sound is low on her headphones so she can stay aware of her surroundings. Danny Inanine, 27, goes for a run in Marlton, New Jersey. She shares her location with her friends and family, and she also has an emergency alert on her watch and carries pepper spray and personal pull alarm. Moving on to our second topic, spiked drinks. So who's targeted with drink spiking? Well, 4 out of 5 victims are female. Around half of drink spiking victims are aged under 24, so it's mostly college
people our age.
Moving on ways to keep safe from spiked drinks. Is there anything y'all do to make sure that y'all's drinks don't get spiked at night?
Like having my drink with me at all times and not leaving it somewhere where like I don't know who could have messed with it, or like if some like a friend of mine is taking care of it, like while I go to the restroom. But I rather go to the restroom with my friends because I feel like it's scary going by myself.
Yeah.
That's also why we go in groups. You never know what's gonna happen. You cannot go to the bathroom by yourself.
Yeah, so you better chug that drink or throw it away.
Nah. If I left it, I'm not touching it again.
Yeah, don't ever touch it.
A little helpful tip: chug your drink before you get to the restroom, so you don't have to leave it out.
Drink some water after that.
If you want.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Also, another helpful tip is to make sure that you watch your drink being made. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, always be on guard about who makes your drink.
You can never trust anyone.
Don't accept drinks from strangers. Never leave your drink unattended while you dance or go to the toilet. Don't drink or taste anyone else's drink. And dispose of your drink if you think it tastes odd. If it's funky, leave it.
What else there is? That nail polish that changes colors when you dip it in your drink.
Oh,
If it's
really? I've
Yeah,
never heard
that's
about
creative,
that.
But like
The fact that it
that we
had
have
to
go
be
those
made.
means,
Yeah.
The fact that
Like
men
nail
made
polish?
Save.
it,
Bruh.
men designed it.
Yeah.
So men are profiting off of providing a solution to a problem they created.
We hate men.
I'm gonna throw up.
Not on me.
Also, there's been like these new scrunchies that people have been buying, and it's like a scrunchie for your hair, and then you put it over the cup.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Or also like these cup lids that people have been buying when you go out to drink at the bars, which I think is a little, it shouldn't be necessary, like it shouldn't be a thing, but it's
Yeah, like that's just so crazy that we had to come up with stuff like that in order to keep ourselves safe. Actually, not even us. Men are coming up with that because they know that we are scared of people spiking our drinks.
yeah. What to do if you think someone's been spiked? Take care of the affected person. If they're experiencing bad effects, call an ambulance immediately. Don't delay. You could save their life. Moving on to our third topic, avoiding sexual harassment. It can be very hard to say no, especially when you fear of getting sexually harassed. Like my roommate, Narda, who went to a party out a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
Who went to a party a couple months ago. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I was like still living back in Houston, and I went out to a party with my roommate. We got there pretty late already, and so there was only like a few, like, because it was like a family party. It wasn't that big of a party. It was for her friend's graduation, and so it was like mostly family and like a few friends. And so we get there like already like later, so like there's like a lot of like family members already leaving, and so it's really like the cousins and like her friends that stay behind. And like, yeah, we were like drinking for a while, and then I sit down and I'm just like chilling on my phone, and my roommate, like, she just like went off somewhere, and like she goes off and like she's like talking with this other guy, and so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna chill here. And one of her cousins, like, I had kind of already like made like little conversation like with him, so he just comes and sits next to me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I kind of already like talked to like the guy, like just like in a way of like, oh hey, like your name and that, and like cousin and stuff.
Just greetings.
Yeah, literally just greetings, like nothing else. And he starts talking to me, and I'm just like having a conversation with him. And then he starts like getting up like really close to me and like putting his hand on my thigh, and I was like, this is, oh no, we gotta go. That's literally what was going through my head. Yeah, like he was just like being all weird, and we drove there, but we were gonna leave my roommate's car because like we couldn't drive back, and like we weren't gonna spend the night, so we had like another one of our roommates, like they were gonna come pick us up, and I started texting them, and I'm like, hey, can you come pick us up, because like I'm feeling really, really uncomfortable. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, do you want to go home? And I'm like, yeah, I'm like getting ready to go home, my friend's gonna come pick me up. And he's like, no, like I'll take you home. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to take me home. He's like, no, it'll like be quick, like I could just take you home, it's like no problem at all. And I'm like, it is literally a problem to me, so no.
Because you said no.
Yeah, I said no. And like literally while like he was like kind of like, I was like ignoring him, like because he was already being weird, like I like turned to him, and he like literally goes in to kiss me, and I'm like,
what?
no.
Unprovoked.
So unprovoked. And I was like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think that's like a good idea? Also, like, I'm like pretty drunk at this point. Like, it was like, I don't know, I wasn't feeling like normally, like,
You weren't sober.
yeah, I literally just wasn't sober. That's what I'm trying to say.
And he probably knew that.
Yeah.
No, he definitely knew that.
Uh-huh. That is...
Actually, now that I think about it, like
acting like he was
before,
with
like
the
whenever
guys,
we were all talking, because like I started talking to him because we were all in a group,
Mm-hmm.
and like we were like taking shots and stuff, and like he like kind of like was like being like, oh, take more, and I'm like, no, I can't do more, like I'm literally gonna throw
Oh,
up. I didn't even think about that until right now. Like he
That's
literally was
literally
trying to
like-
like give me more drinks, and I'm like, I can't take more drinks.
You didn't want to.
Yeah, I didn't want to anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Some men will literally get you to that point because
Mhm.
they think...
And like in the
No.
moment, like I didn't think anything of it, because like a lot of us, like, I mean, that's like a thing, like, oh, like take another drink, like take
Yeah.
another shot.
But some men do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, that,
Like they have like,
they want you drunk.
yeah.
That's crazy. Did your roommate get there in time?
Yeah, like, I like had to wait for a while, but then at that point, like I got up and went to look for my other roommate because I was like, I'm not gonna be sitting here anymore.
And you were scared to say no because, like, what if...
Yeah, like I was literally kind of just like in shock. Like at first, I literally didn't even like. I just kind of moved away and like was like, literally, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And I get up and like he's just like, oh, let me take you home. And I'm like, what is your problem? Leave me the fuck alone.
What is your problem? Also, can we talk about that guy who came up to you in class?
Not to put you on
And
the spot.
you know, he made you really uncomfortable.
Okay, that
too.
was like actually the most insane thing that's ever happened to me. Like, anyways, I'm sitting in the Jowers Center building, like a little bit towards like the Bobcat Stadium. Anyways, I have a class there, and I'm like sitting inside the building, but like in a bench waiting outside, like my class waiting for it to start. There was like maybe 10 minutes left, and I'm sitting there, and like I see out of the corner of my eye this guy come up, and cause like there's a table right in front of me. He goes up and he like greets him and they're talking, and I'm just on my phone like with my headphones on minding my business, and this like man like puts his hand in front of my phone, like kind of in front of my face, and like trying to get my attention, and I'm like, oh, hello. And he was like, oh, hey, like what's your name? And I'm like, oh, this is my name, Nardo.
Yeah.
And
Like, why are you
Like,
no, yeah, I was like, oh, and he's like, oh, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. And then he kind of like motions to sit like where I'm at, and like I didn't think of anything, and I literally move over, even though there's like a whole other side and like a whole other bench, and he like kind of like it
He
makes me
just
feel
had
like
to sit
yeah,
right
he had
next
to like
to you.
move me and like sit next to me, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then he just like keeps asking me questions. He's like, oh, like do you speak Spanish and this and that? And I'm like, yeah. I kind of like knew like what he was trying to like the second he like was like asking my name and like this and that, I was like,
flirting?
yeah, like I felt like he was flirting, and I was just like, well, my class is about to start. Like, I don't know. I wish I was like that type of person who could just instantly be like, I don't want to talk to you, and like gets up and gets away from the situation. But like, I like just stay there. Like, maybe it's like the internalized fear of like what would happen if I like actually like stood up for myself or like did something that would like make him unhappy. Like people, literally, women have died for that. So maybe that's just me being scared. And so he's just like asking me, he's like, oh, you speak Spanish? And I was like, oh yeah. And he starts talking to me in Spanish, and he was like, I find you very attractive, but in Spanish. I'm not gonna say it. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. And then he literally starts talking about how he went to like this like HIV clinic, and I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, they were handing out condoms and stuff, but like I have never like done any of that. And I was like, okay, like, oh. And the whole time, like, he's like all up like really close to me, he was like really close, because he was like, what is this? Like, I could barely hear him, and I was like, I don't know why the fuck you're talking that low.
Because he didn't want people to know what.
Yeah,
the
no,
hell he was about to ask you.
No, because anyways, he tells me that story, and he's like, oh, I think consent is very important. And I'm like, oh yeah, like consent is definitely very important. And then he was like, yeah, so that's kind of like why I'm asking you like for consent to like pretty much like sleep with me, because he was like inciting. He's like, oh yeah, like I've never like done anything like that before, and I think you're like very pretty, so like I was wondering if that was okay with you. And I'm like, Excuse me?
Sleep
what
with
the
you?
fuck are you on? Like, for you to literally just come, like, right up to me, move me, like, sit next to me, and, like, talk all this crazy shit.
During
and
school hours.
School hours. And then like, for him to ask to pretty much have sex with me, like, and try it out. Because, like, it's his first time, and he was like, yeah, like, I don't know what the heck he was thinking, but I'm like, no, sorry, I got class. And I, like, get up and go, but, like, the whole time I'm walking to my class, I'm just, like, mouth open, like, like, what just happened? Mm-hmm. No.
That's crazy.
And I didn't report it, because, like, I don't know, like, in the moment, I was like, what is there to report?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Him being a freak.
Also, it's very hard to report this or seek out from this when they, first of all, don't do anything about it. Like a Texas State student who reported her rape to the Texas State and they didn't do anything about it, even though the guy had already had a rape case against him and a drug felony. So now she's suing Texas State because they could have prevented this from happening in the first place if they would have listened to her for the first report. And second of all, are severely underreporting the number of sexual assaults. Like in the years of 2016 to 2017, when they had originally reported 8 numbers of rape cases, when the real number was 38 sexual assaults. Like, why are you lying about that? Plus, they said that it was the reason they said that they had miscounted. The statistics were wrong, but
by 30.
yeah, it's 38 cases. That's not hard to count. Like, I can count that in my head. Like, you don't need a calculator for that. So why would you do that? Like, why are you like installing this thing into women in college campus that they can't go for?
Why are you making people think that they're safer than they really are?
Yeah.
If it's more dangerous, at least admit it so people can take the precautions to be safe.
Moving on to our final topic, some overall helpful tips. Do y'all have any helpful tips y'all would like to tell our audience about staying safe?
It depends on where you're talking about.
Just women taking precautions.
Just in general?
Just in general.
Well, before I came to college, I remember my parents bought me like 3 things, and it was pepper spray, a taser, and that stabby stick. I'm not really sure the formal term for it. But, yeah, that was part of the school supply list to come here to live alone.
I feel like that's very necessary, much more if you're gonna be living alone.
Yeah.
I literally just have pepper spray, but I do plan on getting other things to keep myself safe.
I want a bat for my car.
Like a glittery one?
Yeah.
A pink one would be nice.
It's easy to spot, so you can grab it real quick.
And it's just cute.
It's cute, but like the back seat is dark. You need
You're
something
slaying
to
while you're beating the hell out of someone.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want that?
keep like a, what did you call it?
What?
The thing that I keep by my bed.
Like a coal shovel?
Yes, I keep a coal shovel by my bed. We do not have a fireplace, but I keep that in case.
You need
I
to
don't know.
smack
What
a
if somebody
bitch.
busts into my room? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you with it.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you busting into my room? First of all.
And always lock the doors right after you get in your car.
I have a horrible habit of not doing
Me
that.
too.
That's bad. I need to break it.
I honestly didn't even know that was a thing. Locking your cars after you get in.
Always lock it.
Taking your dog with you is another one. If you have a dog, if you're fortunate enough.
Also, like, you'd have to have, like, an intimidating dog. Like, if you
Yeah.
have a little
Yeah.
toy, like, poodle, like,
Not a
who's
chihuahua.
gonna be scared of that?
Yeah, if I'm walking around with my chihuahua, nobody's gonna. Actually, chihuahuas are a little scary. If I'm walking around with my little
Yeah, but
terrier,
your chihuahua is literally, like, less than a foot big.
Yeah, someone
It's
can
tiny.
step on it.
that's my point.
Mm-hmm.
But chihuahuas, some are crazy.
Yeah, but I feel like even then, like, men, like, they're
Oh, no, they're
if
not
they're
scared.
crazy enough to
Yeah,
come
curb
after you,
stomp my chihuahua.
they would literally kill your dog, and that, like, that just adds to, like, the terror.
Sad.
Also, for runners, switch up your routes, but keep them familiar. You know, don't be going down the same road every single
I
day.
feel like that's a good tip in general. Like,
I take
having
different
like
walks
different
to
ones.
school.
Mhm.
Yeah. Some people can memorize your routine.
Yeah, there's
That's crazy.
freaks out there. Also,
Creeps.
if you work like at a restaurant or something, and tell your coworkers that you're not comfortable with like if some random person like asks for your name or like ask when you're working, like don't ever give out that information, and tell your coworkers to not like give that information out for you, because like they're just like pretty much like gonna
They're just gonna
you.
think it's some relative that's asking, like, oh, they're busy right now. Like, maybe they're expecting you after work, but also, like, they would have known already what time you got off. If you were expecting each other after work.
I heard that a long time ago when I was serving, and it's a good thing to, like, have in mind.
That's a good one.
And taking out the trash for the restaurant.
Oh my God.
Never
I have, like,
at night,
the
never alone.
story of whenever I used to be, like, a host, and there was this man, like, it was all, like, girls working in the restaurant, and there was, like, only, like, 6 of us, maybe. Because it was, like, closing time, and it was also during COVID. So, like, there was, like, limited workers. And there was this man with the machete outside, like, walking around the building. And I was like, what is going on? It was literally so terrifying. Like, I cannot believe that happened.
Is it the Mexican restaurant?
Yeah.
Wait, you've worked at literally too.
Yeah.
Wait.
No, but it's like also a really small restaurant. And I remember I was like about to go out there and
you see this man in a machete?
yeah, I was literally just gonna take the trash out, and I see this man
with the machete, my bad.
and I'm like,
I don't know.
what?
Were you
is
more scared of the
going on?
machete or the man?
It's a man carrying a machete. I don't know, like if I see a machete somewhere, like I'm not gonna be scared of it, but like a
Man holding it? Yeah. I would.
Me acting like it's okay for a woman to walk around with a machete.
No, yeah. I'm gonna
Still
look at you.
scared.
I'm gonna look at you crazy if you're walking around with a machete. That's all I'm gonna say.
That includes the end of the episode. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.